My name is Jamar McCowan, and today we're going to go over business credit. But we got a couple things that we're going to go over first. First, note takers are money makers. So make sure you guys are ready to take good notes. The second thing is business credit is the step to do other things like get funding. And I'll tell you guys about us and why that matters. And the third thing is thank yourself for taking the first step to start building your business credit, which is getting education. You guys can go anywhere online and you guys chose to come to us, so thank you. So now let's get into it. What we do at Elevate Your Funding is we help people do 4 things. It's a 4-step process. The first one is personalized funding plan. So what I do on the back end, after my team talks to prospects, they come to me and I create them a funding plan. I know which banks go to where, which credit bureaus they pull from, how to build the business credit, and different things like that. So maybe we have a client that wants to get $1 million for their business. I'm the one that strategically helps and put contacts in from banking industries in there. So that's what I do. The second thing is I connect them with lender access and bank access to my network. And after, that's how we start running the play. The third thing is if there's any documentation needed, if we're going for like an SBA loan, there's tons of documents that's needed. And then there's no doc lines of credit. I help my clients, once they have their documentation, decide, hey, that looks good or that doesn't look good. Let's go or let's stop or let's slow down. And the fourth thing is I give ongoing guidance. We've helped just this week get $100,000 for clients. So we do this all the time. One of our biggest clients got $1 million for his business because he had everything set up the right way and we were able to press play on getting those results. So that's why I said business credit is in the middle. So you have personal credit, you have business credit, and then you have funding. So we're talking about business credit today for the goal to eventually get funded. So business credit, by definition, is a financial profile separate from your personal profile. It's tied to your business entity. So many people want to get business credit because they don't want to tie it to their personal profile. They don't want that liability, which is fine. With that being said, there are different things. You can have your business, you can have for instance, if you have a business and you go get lending, when you go get lending, they can tie something called the USC lien on your business. That means your business, if you don't pay back the money that you get, is going to be the collateral. So they can make you sell assets in the business and go after you. So business credit isn't, let's use it because we messed up our personal credit. We want to make sure we're doing the same thing we would do with our personal credit and get it good to the business credit. So that's a big thing. There is separation, but there is also still responsibility. Now, second thing, the importance. It helps you secure funding at better rates and protects your personal assets from business liabilities, which is true. We don't want to get sued on our personal because our business is being sued. We don't want to be sued at all, but that's just how that goes. So you can get better rates by having a better business credit score. Now, compared to personal credit to business credit, typically business rates are always higher because there's more liability than your personal. Than your personal. Now, business credit scores range from 0 to 100. High business credit scores range from 0 to 100. Higher the credit score indicates a smaller risk, but it's not like regular personal credit. You don't just go to Credit Karma. For instance, for Experian, when you go to Experian business credit, you have to pay to get your report. And then you can go get like a Duns and Bradstreet. A lot of people talk about that. That doesn't charge. However, you typically don't see line items on, hey, American Express, this is how many months that you've had the account. This is business credit's totally different. When you look at the reports, you may not know who's actually reporting. So it's important. And we're going to go over vendor accounts pretty soon. So the benefits of that strong business credit is you get lower rates. Business credit rates go high. However, if you get lower interest rates because you have a better business profile, you don't have that protect. And then you have the personal protection, so your personal doesn't get sued unless you PG. There's two types of funding. There's EIN only funding, which is for your business, and then there's PG funding, personal guarantee funding. Personal guarantee funding would be companies like American Express, Bank of America, US Bank, Chase. They all do lending specifically for your business, but you back it with your personal credit. So if you burn them and you don't pay them back, they're going to mess up all that stuff. So that's important to know. EIN only funding, you're going to be looking at different companies like Rock Financial, ROK Financial. They're pretty good. So we have that personal protection. Now, increased funding, you have access to higher credit limits and more financing. So when you deal with like companies like Rock Financial, you have a better business credit score, you'll get more funding. And they have better terms negotiated. The better the credit score, you might not have to pay weekly, you may pay monthly. In the business funding space, they do weekly payments, sometimes daily payments. So when you get those monthly payments, that's even better. So now, how do you start establishing business credit? So in order for you to even have business credit, you need to have a business entity, whether it's a corporation, whether it's an LLC, that's all different stuff, or a partnership. But you want to make at least an LLC, and then you're going to go get that from your Secretary of State website, or go to companies like Zen Business, and they can help you open it up. Then you're going to go to irs.gov and get an EIN. It's free. Okay, don't have to pay anybody for it. You get the EIN. That's going to be your business social security number, essentially. Then you're going to open a business bank account. I recommend Bank of America. I like them. We have an account with them. They're really good. Or Chase. So either way, you're going to open a bank account. This is way it separates your business and your personal finances. And one other thing I recommend is getting QuickBooks. And the reason why I recommend getting QuickBooks is once you look at that to your bank account and your business is starting to make money, QuickBooks will send you an offer to give you a loan eventually, because they're seeing how much money you're running through your bank account. So get QuickBooks and then hook up your bank account. And then apply for business credit. And what does that mean? You don't apply for business credit. You're going to apply with starting for vendors to get the credit. Here's the rules we'll go over when you're getting vendor credit. You want to look at sites that you actually use. You want to use the product, because you can't just go open a line of credit with the vendor and not use it, because it won't report. You want to make sure you have at least 6 items reporting. Okay? So after you do this, you're going to go do a couple extra steps. You're going to go to Duns and Bradstreet and put your business information and get your Duns and Bradstreet number. Then you're going to go to the Experian business credit site, and it's going to tell you to find your business. You're going to enter your business information. They will email you when they found your business, meaning it takes some time for things to start generating. That's the next steps I would do. Then we'll go look at the vendor list. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this. This vendor list is for business credit. So these companies operate like this. You go and you say, hey, Uline, you gotta try to make an order for Uline. So say you want some pens. Go to Uline, buy some pens, and then it will ask if you want to see if you can get the vendor credit. That's when you do it. You can't just go apply. You have to start using it. So Uline, Quill, Summa Office Financials, Crown Financials, Nav Business, HD Supply. So these are all companies you guys can go to, and you guys can start that business line of credit. Remember, you have to use these. Now, all these companies are different. For instance, Shirtsies does nothing but shirts. Okay, that's their main thing. So if you're not looking for shirts, then maybe Uline. Uline has so many different things for office supplies. You know, I'm in Las Vegas and I've been to hotels where I see that they've had something from Uline because you can see the boxes sometimes. So they have a wide variety of things. But remember, we want to get stuff that we're going to use. This is how you start building your vendor list. Then the next thing would be like gas cards. A to B gas cards, or the BP MasterCard, or the Costco card. That's not just a gas card, that's just a business credit card. These are some extra places you guys can go, but start with this vendor list that I was telling you guys now. Now, when you're building your business credit, here's some tips, okay? You want to pay early. Make payments before due dates to boost your score quickly so you can make more payments. So you could pay it early. And what I recommend is if you do let it hit the due date, pay twice. So pay early and then hit the due date. So you're just accelerating that. Remember, we're trying to build a business credit. Then you want to maintain your credit lines. Keep accounts open and active. Use them regularly. Not enough people talk about this. They say, go get an LLC and you'll get money. Go get an LLC, go get vendors. But they don't tell you, use it regularly because banks want activity. If you use it regularly, banks are going to be like, you know what? Let's give them some more money. Now you want to monitor reports. Check business credit reports regularly. Now here's the thing. Experian charges for you to check. Duns & Bradstreet doesn't, but a lot of stuff goes to Experian. So I would check it periodically. They're checking it when you apply for stuff, but I would check it periodically. Okay? And then increase your credit mix. You want to diversify with different types of credit to strengthen your credit profile. Meaning, I recommend getting a gas card. I recommend getting vendor credit from some of the companies that I said. Amazon has a business side. You can go for business credit. There's a bunch of companies that offer different types of vendor services depending on your industry. If you're into a business where you're reselling computers, there's different companies. There's different wholesale manufacturers that do clothing. So after this webinar, you guys are going to get a list emailed to you with a bunch of other vendors you guys can use. This is important. You guys want to have an increased mix. So later on, you guys may want to go get a car from like Ford Financial or Ally Financial. And this is why it's important to have that mix. So kind of like how we covered earlier, the major business credit bureaus, Duns & Bradstreet, Experian Business, and I didn't tell you about Equifax yet. The thing about Equifax is they evaluate business credit based off business size and the industry risk. So when you go open your LLC, they are going to want to know what business, and once you tell them on Equifax or they find out, this categorizes your risk. Meaning if you're in the car rental industry, that's higher risk than if you're in a software business. So these are the three. Take a screenshot of that. This is important. So Duns & Bradstreet, they have a Paydex score, and it requires a DUNS number registration. So you have to go to the DUNS website. The Experian, we kind of went over that, but they call it IntelliScope, and they call it IntelliScore Plus. So that's how the process works with those three credit bureaus. They're all important. A lot pull from Experian and Equifax. Not as many pull through Dun & Bradstreet, because when you go on certain websites, they'll ask you for your DUNS number. Now here are some common business credit mistakes. These, you don't want to do these, okay? Just like your personal credit, you don't want to miss payments. Late payments mess your business credit up. And after you have late payments, they can reduce your score. And after you have late payments, they can reduce your limit on the credit that you already have. That's the big thing. A lot of these vendors operate on something called net. So it's either a net 15, net 30, net 60, or a net 90, okay? That just means you're going to pay everything in 15 days. You're going to pay everything on 30 days. That's different than just having traditional cards where you can hold the balance. Some of these people want all of the money that you spend on that because they're just saying, okay, we're going to float you for 15 days or we're going to float you for 15 days or we're going to float you for a month. So it's important. You don't want to mix personal and business. You don't want to have a personal account and then put business funds into it over and over. You don't want to do that. And you don't want to neglect monitoring and seeing if there's any errors in the business credit reports. It's important. And don't max out your credit lines unless you guys are going to pay off that month. So if you have a net 15 and you spend $1,000 and you could pay that off in the 15 days, then okay. But you don't want that to roll over. You don't want to mess up, especially when you're early on, or you're going to shoot yourself in the foot and not maximize. So we're going to send you guys a bunch of different things to your email, so check out for that, and even text message. So the next steps to business credit success. This was just the basics, the prerequisite to stop some of the stuff that they're saying online to you guys, so you guys can understand. So this is how it would look in a 2-year period. Okay, first thing, 1 to 3 months, we're going to establish a legal entity, open bank accounts, and start applying for that EIN. Then 4 to 6 months, people typically start getting vendor accounts, applying for secured business credit card, and registering through Duns & Bradstreet. So there's banks like Bank of America and other banks that will give you a secured business credit card. And only fundings, want to make sure you're running money through your bank account. So at month 1 to 3, once you get that business bank account, start running money through it, and then go to companies like Rock Financial. Month 7 to 12, apply for store credit, build payment history, monitor credit reports. So you guys are going to get that vendor list. You guys will see the tiers. And then 2, apply for business loans, increase credit limits, maintain excellent payment history. Now this is a 2-year time period. It doesn't take 2 years for everybody. You can speed this up by making sure you establish that entity quick. You make sure you start opening those vendors accounts. So you can literally condense month 1 to 6 in 1 month, and then get to year 2 in the first year. So if you guys want help, click the button down below. Book a call with my team. We help people get funding every single day, and we want to help you. Thanks for coming to the webinar.